Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Eric Lobron. This is Yardbird, a frequent opponent in the 5 minute pool. I haven't played him much lately, but I see him on really frequently, and I played him in the past too. Also, if you watch Christoph's videos, Chess Explained on YouTube, he plays this guy all the time. I think they have a pretty long-standing history of games. Let's take on c4. Let's do something sharp. We're going to go for the Botvinnik variation. We're going to invite the mainline Botvinnik. D takes c4 is the sharpest move black has available at this juncture. He plays a4. Excuse me. A4, I think I'm supposed to go bishop b4, so I'll play that. And then if e4, I can play b5, I believe. Doesn't seem like he knows too much about this line just by the way he's playing. Maybe he didn't want to engage me in some really sharp theory by playing e4 straight away. Yardbird. I wonder if he's an Eric Clapton fan, because I think Clapton used to be part of a band called the Yardbirds. Just a little rock and roll history. I have Eric Clapton's autobiography. It's really good. Pretty interesting stuff. Should I go b5 now? No, I'm just going to go knight bd7. This is a weird fianchetto position, isn't it? Guess I'll just castle. He'll probably castle. I'll go a5. Just so he can't play a5 himself later. Because if he attacks my e-pawn, I might want to be able to play knight b6. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So like, for instance, if knight d2, knight b6. And just hold on to it that way. e5 might be good too. e5 he can take though. Yeah, let's play knight b6. Now he supports that pawn. Should probably question his bishop. He takes... Yeah, and he's going to try to recover this pawn. But I can try to free myself with e5 whilst he is recovering the pawn. So we'll do that. I think I have a good chance of getting out of this with the bishop pair. I'm giving the pawn back, but I might have the bishop pair advantage, and my light square bishop can come out now to e6, let's say. I'll just pre-move a capture. I don't think he'll take here, but you never know. He could play a knight into e4, but I'll just drop my queen back to e7 most likely. I don't think he gains much by doing that. If he plays knight takes c4, I'll take, and then probably take on d4. Could play d5 too, but taking on d4 seems better. Let's just do that. Takes with the queen. So now I could go into an endgame where he has an isolated d-pawn, and I have the bishop pair, but he's going to play d5 quickly. I don't know that I have an advantage there. So I probably should avoid the queen trade. Let's do that. I hate to leave his queen on such a dominating square, but I think avoiding the trade is indicated. Now I'll try to bring the bishop out to f5. So if he puts a rook on d1, I'll just play bishop f5. And then, you know, let's say rook d8. Not sure which rook, but... And maybe with bishop f5, he has to think about bishop c2 down the road, which could hit his rook on d1 and the pawn on a4. Where to put this bishop? Bishop g6. Can probably do it. It seems better on e6, though. Let's do that instead. Again, I can harass him with bishop b3. My immediate plan is just to put a rook on d8, though. Okay, let's just do that. Don't see a good reason not to. Bishop b3 now. No, let's just trade. See if he'll capture with the queen or with the rook. Queen he goes with. I can do bishop b3 again. That's like my ace in the hole, bishop b3. I would like to oppose him on the d-file, though. So maybe this move first. Queen e5, perhaps. Nope, prefers that one. Now, if I go bishop b6, I can play rook d8. It's logical. Yep, let's do this. We'll keep up the tempo. Let's trade. I don't see why not. Queen b4 is interesting. Queen b4, and if he swaps, I take with the a pawn. Then this pawn is looking hard to defend. Let's do that. He could go bishop d3. No, bishop d3, I have check on e1, and I pick up his knight. Queen h7 is not a problem because I can run with my king towards the center. Yeah, I like queen b4. He kind of sensed that the trade was no good for him, so he didn't do it. Okay, now what happens if I play queen e1? I'm attacking his knight. I'm also threatening bishop h3 or bishop c4. That seems really strong. I can also take the pawn on a4 and go after his knight that way. What does he do against queen e1, though? Queen e1 is a really nasty move. Yeah, let's do that. That just strikes at the heart of his position. Okay, so now if bishop c4... If I go bishop h3... Does he have a defense? Yeah, he could check on e8, king h7, check on e4, f5, and then queen d3. What's up with bishop c4? Ah, bishop c4, he has that same check. That's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. He's like barely defending here. Bishop c7, does that work? Bishop c7, take, then bishop c4? No, that can't work. Could it? That'd be pretty cool if it did. I'm going to lose on time if I try to figure it out, though. Oh, that weakens. Having some trouble here. Don't like it. Alright, whatever. I'm going to do this. He has a defense, though.
Check.
It's just a very annoying one. Yeah, now I have to swap. I'll go bishop here. I'll keep the bishops. He's got a really big time advantage now. Messed that position up. Let's go attack this guy. G6. This is no good. I can go f3. Messing this position up, guys.
Check.
Really upset with myself. Just really gotta hustle now. Bad, bad, bad. F4 is coming. Thought too long. I thought I was getting a win.
Time.
Time warning, yep.
Check. Check.
Still not an easy position for him to win, I don't think.
Check.
My bishops are pretty good. But the time disadvantage is significant. There's no getting around that. Let's just push something.
Check.
Man. Do something. Try to check him.
Check.
Yeah, this is over.
Check.
Okay, I'll resign. I blew that one. Once again. Not a good day so far today in my blitz games. I feel sharp, but I'm just playing kind of slowly. Okay, I'm going to go to that position. Because I really felt like I had close to a forced win here. Man, I spent so much time, though. I spent over a minute on this move. It just... I couldn't find the win. Bishop h3 or bishop c4 nearly work. But bishop c4,
Check.
he has this problem.
Check.
And he picks up the bishop. And bishop h3, he did what he did in the game. I might need something more crafty here. Bishop c7, I almost pulled the trigger on. But again, he has a defense. Yeah, there's a couple defenses now that I look at it. Like, this is a defense, too. Defends f1. I probably should have just settled for queen takes a4. Pick up the pawn and go after his knight. That said, let's look at the engine and see if there is something here for black. After knight c3. This is my best bet is a prophylactic move, king h7, which would prepare bishop h3. But even then, he has the same defense, though. Like, is bishop h3 really a threat? Because he goes check, and then he brings the queen back to b1. Or d3. Yeah, should have played queen takes a4 here. I was expecting too much of my position. This is the turning point right here, because I've got, almost 45 extra seconds, and I could just bank a pawn easily with a threat on his knight. If he checks,
Check.
I think that's bad, because if he goes for this line, I can take on d1, and then if here I have bishop c4. Now this really does win for me. So, this is always a big struggle for me in my games, I'm not going to lie. Even my OTB games, I often feel like I have to win perfectly in the position, because I quote-unquote deserve to win. I'm doing air quotes right now, deserve to win. That's a very dangerous mentality in chess. You have to be objective at all times. You can't feel like you deserve to win a position. That will cloud your judgment. So I felt like I deserved to have a forced win at this point, but the computer says I'm better, I'm just not winning. And
Check.
I spent a lot of time,
Check.
came up with something that was still pretty decent, but just lost my objectivity and lost a lot of time on the clock too. Yeah, this is a bad move, bishop b4. I should try to get my bishop back in the game immediately. This is already an awkward construction, though, the bishop on g4 and the pawn on f5. Because as you see, my bishop can nearly become trapped on h5. So, yeah, and here I should take on c3 and go after his a pawn. I saw that line. I thought he could check and then go bishop c8, though. Apparently, oh, okay, I played b6, and if he goes after my c6 pawn, then I can take on a4. Gotcha. Otherwise, I'm very happy with how I played this game. Yeah, and I'm fairly certain this endgame's losing. Once I lose the f5 pawn. Ooh, actually here. Take, b5. Even here at the end, I missed some stuff. Okay, and I'm going to get a passed pawn on the a file. Take. And that trumps his extra pawn in the center. Extra 2 pawns in the center. Interesting. And if he goes here, I can do that and offer to trade bishops because this is such a runaway train, the a pawn. Interesting. So all was not lost even there. Pretty sure once he fixes my pawns on c5, b6, a5, though, this must be losing.
Check.
Yeah, he gets his
Check.
f4 pawn rolling. I didn't really see
Check.
any chances after this.
Check.
These pawns are too strong for him.
Check. Check.
Yeah,
Check.
this is easy peasy.
Check.
Other than that, I'm happy with how I played it. I don't think this idea of his was that good. Like, playing a4 and combining it with like a a4 bishop g5 and combining it with a kingside fianchetto. Generally, fianchettos and a bishop pinning one of the knights on the same wing are not good because you notice when I played h6, right here, he doesn't have the flexibility to keep the pin. And then g5, and that's a function of him having fianchettoed. So I'm always a little suspicious of fianchettos and a pinning bishop on the same wing. So yeah, I seem perfectly good here. Just better. Kept the queens on the board. Computer really, really loves black's position. Possibly I didn't play this stage as best as I could have, but I always felt like I had the advantage with the two bishops. His b4 square is weak too. Yeah, queen b4 is a strong move. Yeah, and I should have just played queen takes a4. Alright, so unfortunate end for me, but a very instructive game nonetheless, I think. Hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I'll be back with one more game today. Thanks, guys.